Right, here's one story that's just dropped right on my desk. And immediately I saw it, I thought, oh well, hasn't not taken that long to come up, because we've been talking about this for absolutely ages. Unfortunately, there are so many people who are saying it will never happen, they will never do it. But unfortunately, here we have it. A Tory MP is urging for mandatory CV vaccine and certificate of travel. It is a story that you will not like, but here it is. Shall we have a look? Shall we have a look? A British Conservative MP has said that vaccines should be mandatory when rolled out in the UK, and accompanying certificate could be issued that will allow international travel. Speaking yesterday in Parliament, Tobias Elwood, who is MP for Bournemouth East, urged the Prime Minister to use the British Armed Forces in overseeing the rollout of a mandatory vaccination programme. If you don't believe me, go and do your research on that, and also on the Behavioural Insights Team, BIT. So it really didn't take that long to come out, did it? It's amazing. Wow, it's only been like, what, 3 weeks?
Planning must start immediately. And I have written to the Prime Minister recommending that he consider calling on the Ministry of Defence to establish a small task force led by a senior, empowered voice of authority to begin the planning and design of a draft blueprint. The armed forces have the capacity, the logistical experience and the national reach, and are not overburdened by any current duties involving tackling COVID-19 to take on this mammoth and incredible task. Now, when you pause to consider what is involved, the logistics of shifting millions of refrigerated vaccines across the country, the creation of regional distribution hubs which then feed into mobile testing centres, developing a national database to track progress and issue the vaccination certificates, which they themselves will probably have to be internationally recognised in order to allow travel, international travel, as well as establishing the order of who is prioritised first, key workers, the vulnerable, teachers, for example, and then with more detailed questions about potentially the use of schools to vaccinate the children. All these must be answered and indeed planned for. Now, with the coordination of Whitehall departments, local authorities, the private sector, policing and security, as well as the military support to consider, I hope I make the case for why we need to start thinking about this now. I also believe that the biggest challenge will be in managing the transition period, potentially up to a year, when parts of our society are liberated from the threat of COVID-19 and would like to seek to return to normality, and those who have yet to be vaccinated but still subject to the continued social distancing rules. We need to get the planning right today so we can avoid the logistical challenges that we suffered with PPE and indeed testing. And we can then share that blueprint with other countries in that spirit of Global Britain, sharing our plans with other nations, especially those without such advanced logistical capabilities as us.
I was saying this basically 3 weeks ago. This is the end goal. The end goal is that they're going to force you to do it. And people that are saying out there, if you're saying to yourself, they will never make me do it, trust me, it's coming. Unless you wake up and say no. That's the end of my story today. Thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares, but just say no. Bye for now.